Hey guys, it's me again, Farhana. Welcome to Earth's Narrative, and today let's talk about ecotourism.
Ecotourism, it's becoming an alternative for people that has been living like in the woods, in the like extracting things from the jungle.
Ecotourism is basically like super chill travel. You know, the palm trees you see on Instagram talking about how life is just a little bit better by the ocean. In the last decade, eco travel has really started to make its mark on the tourism industry. With over 1.5 billion tourists a year, the growing exposure from social media sites of beautiful, exotic places, eco travel has become much more accessible than ever before. What is ecotourism anyway? It's travel that is focused on the natural environment of a place and is intended to be more sustainable and better for local communities. The idea behind ecotourism is to allow the natural ecology of an area to stimulate the economy within those same communities. Instead of environmental degradation and unsustainable extraction of natural resources to build an empire, countries are turning to their planet as something inherently valuable that can, in turn, bring opportunities to their citizens. I wanted to learn about the inner workings of starting an ecotourism business, so I talked to Nicolas Echeverry, an ecologist from Quindio, Colombia, who started his own eco-tour company, Penelope Birding. Nicholas started Penelope Birding as a way to bring new opportunities to the locals in Colombia's coffee region, as well as to create a career that supported the conservation of Colombia's incredibly biodiverse and unique habitats. I'm really excited to have a chat with him, so let's get started. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, despite time differences.
No. Thank you so much for inviting us, and I really love to be here and talk about the reality of tourism.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess we can just get started. Basically, I kind of want to have some background first. So, like, can you tell us a little bit about how nature and conservation played a role in your childhood when you grew up?
Well, actually, my family is not like a very into nature in a professional aspect. My mother was raised in a farm, and my father lived in all his childhood in the town, but they both love nature. So actually, I grew in an environment where I see like nature documentaries all the time, and my parents all the time were telling me about the importance of nature, the importance of trees, the importance of the ecosystems. And I had like, for me, it was like my ideal was to be like one of those guys who appear in the nature documentaries in Animal Planet, when Animal Planet was a good
Yeah.
TV channel. And so I grew having that in mind. And when I became like a little bit older, like 15 or 16, I realized that that can be my bachelor's, and I can like work all my life in that. So that's why I became an ecologist.
Yeah, and so you started Penelope Birding, right? It's you and your partner Camilo, correct? And
Yeah,
that's like
yeah,
a
he's my cousin.
Oh, okay, great. So that's a company that's like focusing on conservation and ecotourism in Quindio, Colombia.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. So like, when did you decide to start this company, and why did you decide to have it in Quindio specifically?
Well, I was born in Quindio, and my cousin lived all his life in Quindio, and all my family lives here. So it's a perfect place right in the heart of Colombia, right in the middle of the coffee region that actually has a lot of tourism. And the reason to create Penelope Birding actually was not like a business idea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Penelope was born actually with the this crazy idea to work in conservation, in biodiversity conservation. But when we wanted to start developing conservation projects in Colombia, we realized that it's almost impossible to make a living out of that in Colombia, because actually almost anywhere in the world, because conservation is not something that gives you money. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that demands money. So actually, like a lot of big NGOs and like big natural reserves or national parks are into conservation, or universities, but as like freelance professionals in environmental science, it's almost impossible to make a living out of conservation. So we started thinking like, okay, what can we do? Okay, we need to live, we need to buy food, we need to pay the
Yeah.
rent, we need to make a living. So a company could be a good idea, but we want to keep it into conservation. So let's make a company that act like a platform to support conservation projects. So we need a company that produces enough income so we can still doing that. So tourism is one of the industries in the world that has like the highest percentage of I don't know how to say that in English, like uh, benefits can be said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we created a touristic company with this idea in mind, that we were going to use a percentage of every income to support conservation projects, and that's how Penelope was born. Um, yeah. The idea of the product that we offer uh, is basically raised in the knowledge of my cousin. He is a biologist and he studied 6 years of biology as a bachelor, because in Colombia our bachelors are 5 years, not three like in the States.
It's actually
Uh,
4, but
or oh, okay,
yeah.
but at the end you have a master, don't you? No.
Yeah, the master's programs are usually about 3 years or so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and also me, that I studied like a full bachelor in ecology. So we decided to offer our knowledge in the Colombian ecosystems, why the tropics are so diverse, why our culture, we are so also like a culturally diverse country, why the Andes are here, why we have Amazon, why we have the Chocó rainforest, and birds, because Colombia is the country with the highest diversity of birds on planet, and we offer that as a touristic product.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was doing some research on it too, and I guess Colombia has like over 1,900 bird species that's already been identified just in the country alone. And I've also,
Yeah, and
go ahead,
in the last 3 or 4 years, that number has been like has been increasing. We're almost 2,000 species.
almost
It's
2,000. Wow,
yeah,
that's incredible. And it's also, I know National Geographic said once that if Earth's biodiversity was a country, it would be called like Colombia, because 1 in every 10 species of fauna can be found there. And you were mentioning earlier about just the biodiversity of like the ecology itself. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Just because I know, like, I read in the National Geographic article as well that Colombia is, I think, one of 2 countries in the world that has all of the world's ecosystems, even though it's like so small in square feet, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Actually, Colombia has only a very small percentage of the land surface of the planet, but the place where we are located in the tropics, and we the place where we are located also like in America as a whole continent, play a very important role in our diversity. Um, Firstly, because our climate is stable. All like we have rain season and dry season, but we don't have seasons like you. We don't have winter. We don't have summer. So the temperature and the humidity is almost the same all around the year. And the place where Colombia is located in America actually acts like a bridge for biodiversity. So the geological origin of North America and South America are different. So when the two continents touch themselves, uh, the place where they touched was Colombia. So a lot of species from the north went down, a lot of species from the south went up, and all of them like merged in Colombia. And what all of those species found in our territory is amazing. We have like the Andes, but we don't have just one single range of the Andes. We have three. So all the Andes come from the south in Patagonia, in Chile, in Argentina as a single chain, and in the south of Colombia it splits on three. So it creates a massive differences between those three ranges, because the species that can be found in one and the other are pretty similar but different. That also creates inter-Andean valleys, that are all the deep valleys between those two ranges, and that also help us to create like a bunch of different ecosystems. So if you think in deserts, okay, we have sand dunes in the north, in the Guajira Peninsula, like sand dunes like the Sahara Desert that nobody thinks in that. We have savannas, like the African savannas in the Orinoco region that is in the north of the Amazon.
But no
And
lions,
you,
right?
jaguars and
Jaguars.
pumas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
we don't have zebras, but we have tapirs, and we have a lot of different species of deers, and we have anteaters, giant anteaters, and we have anacondas there. And it's like you can do actually what is called Safari Llanero. It's a new touristic product that it's being developed there, and you have those crazy jeeps with the chairs on the top, like exactly like in Africa, and you can go do some safaris in Colombia. And we also have the Amazon, that is the most diverse region in the world. And we also have the Chocó region, that is like in the Amazon, but in the Pacific coast, and it's the rainiest place on earth. So you can find absolutely anything. We have glaciers on the top of our mountains, like exactly like in the Rockies. And below that, we have something that is called Páramo, that looks like the tundra ecosystem far in the north. So basically, in a single hour, you can go from the tundra to the rainforest in 3 hours in Colombia, going from, well, you have feet, going from something like 18,000 feet to 3,000 feet in 3 hours. And
That's
you can,
amazing.
and that can be only seen in Colombia. So basically, I love my country. It's amazing to live in one of the most diverse places on earth.
So I guess I have to ask the question then. I know in Latin America specifically, ecotourism is a huge industry. I mean, you see places like Ecuador, Peru, and Costa Rica and things like that, where a lot of their economy is based off of ecotourism. But seeing as Colombia is so much more diverse, I guess, than these countries, why is it that the industry hasn't been as booming there as it has been in these other countries that you see that are surrounding it?
The answer is short and it's sad. It's war. We have been in war for 6 decades now. But after the peace agreements with the Las FARC guerrilla 3 years ago, that's exactly the click that the country needed to have a big boom of tourism. So when Colombia became a peace territory 3 years ago, the country like started looking into Colombia, and all Europe, United States, Asia discovered a massively diverse country, a country that was just starting to develop its like ecotouristic like offer. So everything is cheaper here than in Ecuador, Peru, and Costa Rica, and everything is much more adventurous. Like, and
Undiscovered
for the people,
terrain.
who, yeah, exactly. For the people who wants to live these experiences, Colombia is like paradise. So we are Colombia, Peru, Costa Rica, even Panama has placed has a place in the ecotourism like already established, and Colombia is increasing massively, like, and we're just about to achieve the place of those countries and even like be higher than them, because we have much more things to offer.
Yeah, and I know like ecotourism, it's not just about like travel in beautiful places, but it's also meant to uplift the communities that are living there, right? So Penelope Birding, how, like you were mentioning conservation projects that you fund as like a portion of your profits that you get and things like that. But how else do you guys like help with stimulating the local communities that are living, within the areas that you have your tours?
Well, that's the main impact as for Penelope as a company is in the long tours. When we have several day tours, 3, 5, 7, like every 15-day tours all around Colombia, we touch the economy, a lot of small economies in the territory. Why? Because we love to stay, depending on the kind of a tour, sometimes we stay in fancy places, but we also mix that with local experiences. So in one day you can be in a very fancy hotel, but at the next day you can be in a farm, staying in a farm and learning how to milk a cow, learning how to make arepas with corn, learning how the people live. And in a country that has a lot of people living in the fields, a lot of people depending in their economy on what the land produces, having an extra income for with this makes a big difference. And also the ecotourism, it's becoming an alternative for people that has been living like in the woods, in the like it's extracting things from the jungle. So a lot of you call them poachers, I think, like people
Okay.
who go into the jungle to extract wood or hunt animals. Or maybe I'm missing the concept,
Well,
but yeah,
the
this kind
for
of
wood it's
people.
like loggers, and for poachers
Okay.
it's more meant for like illegal hunting is what
Okay, and
yeah.
that's what happens here,
Okay.
because we don't have like legal hunting for like average people in Colombia. Only the indigenous people can hunt like
Hmm.
free in Colombia, and a lot of those people have the the biggest knowledge of how the ecosystem work. Where can you find the birds? Where can you find the mammals? What are the different uses for this kind of plant, this kind of tree? So we also hire them as local guides when we are traveling, and having this like very deep connection with people who has been living there for all their life is also one of the ways to also help people to stop doing illegal things that treat our biodiversity, and also give them an alternative to live and share their knowledge.
That's awesome. So, what kind of, you said you have like multiple tours, right? So like what are the
Yeah.
typical tours that you guys usually offer?
Well, we have our main public, or our main clients are people who love nature and they want to do some bird watching, but they also want to do some like cultural experience. They want to have like an immersion in the Colombian culture. So the tours that we have in our portfolio are mainly three. We have 3, 5, and 7 day tours. The 3 and the 5 day tours are all in the coffee region, where you can basically have a deep immersion in the cultural coffee landscape that it's a heritage, a cultural heritage of humanity. You will learn how we produce the coffee, why we became the coffee region of Colombia, because all of this region that you see now were dense jungles only 150 years ago. So this basically is the result of a group of people that arrived here like a century and a half ago, and they transformed the forest into coffee production land. Um, and you will learn and you will live all of that. But one thing that characterizes all of our region is the heterogeneity of the landscape. So we have natural reserve, we have a lot of different plantations, not just coffee. We also have corn, planting, cacao, like a lot of different stuff. So we will be moving between like human transformed landscapes and also beautiful forests, learning about ecosystems, learning about biodiversity, learning about birds. Uh, and our 7 day tours is mainly focused on bird watchers. So we also have some cultural experiences there, but we visit some of the best places for bird watching in Colombia, mainly in the east coast, west coast, west region of Colombia, like the West Andes. And in a 7 day tour, you can easily see more than 400 species of birds.
400?
Yeah,
Oh my
easily.
goodness. And can you name all 400 or?
Yeah, I can name more than 400,
That's
uh, but
amazing.
uh, but I am not an expert birding guide. like I'm a high level one, but not an expert. So that's why we hire local like birding local guides in all the places we visit.
I'm really fascinated by the birds in Colombia. I ran across a documentary recently about I think it was a biologist as well, but he also contracted a musician from Bogota to go to all of the regions, and he recorded all of the sounds of the birds and mixed that into like his own song. It's so interesting. I feel like I need to, if for the listeners, you guys got to watch that documentary. It's on YouTube. But so
That documentary is called The Birders,
yes, it's
and
called
you
The
can find it
Birders.
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. How has the pandemic affected your well, I guess tourism in Colombia as a whole has stopped, right? Because it's like completely, how has that like affected your business as a whole? Like, what are you looking
Well,
forward to? I
yeah,
guess
in this
post-pandemic.
moment and for the last 4 months, the activity of Penelope Birding and also all the other touristic companies in Colombia has been completely stopped. Uh, yeah, we don't have clients. There is no tourism, local or international tourism,
Do you think this is
because
going to have lasting effects, like once the country does eventually open up, or are you hopeful that it will go back to being how it was pre-pandemic?
actually I think that is going to be even better.
You think so?
Because yeah, because we're doing well, Colombia hasn't been like so like affected by the COVID, so we still be in a safe territory, and also ecotourism is one of the safest, is okay, one of the more safe, yeah,
Safest, yeah.
safest, yeah, okay, activities that you can do during the pandemic, because you're basically in the middle of nowhere with two guys and that's it. So the possibilities to get infected is much lower than staying in your main in your home and going to the restaurants and malls, and where you can be easily affected by the COVID. So, and also the people for the last 5 months has been holding a lot of
Pent up energy.
aim. Yeah, exactly, a lot of energy. They really want to travel, and Colombia is one of the places where a lot of people want to come. And it's
Awesome.
going to be, yeah, it's going to be pretty cheap to come to Colombia after the tourism opens. So I think it's going to be even better.
So
Gladly.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully. So
Gladly,
say like
anything
I'm
is sure.
all right. So say you're having people from like the US or any other like foreign country that comes into Colombia and they want to like, immerse themselves in this amazing tour and everything and learn about the culture. But I guess, there's always like the problems of like people not respecting or treating the area with as much respect as they probably should. So what are things that I guess advice that you would give to foreigners that they need to keep in mind when they are traveling to Colombia, especially when they are engaging with these like vulnerable ecosystems?
Well, to be sincere with you, the foreigner people that comes to Colombia are extremely respectful with our nature. They have they have a big they're conscious about the importance of everything and how they should behave to respect nature, and to be, the problem are actually Colombians.
That is
Because,
the opposite of what I hear every single time.
well,
Yeah.
it happens in because, well, that can be my opinion, because almost all my clients are interested in nature and they have been traveling all around the world doing this kind of tours. uh, but the Colombian people are not like very aware of how to behave in natural ecosystems. So in some places with a lot of tourism, you will find people with loud music in the middle of the forest, or uh, throwing garbage in the middle of the creeks, and that's very sad. But the people is slowly like learning how to behave in natural places.
Awesome. And then can you just tell people again, this last plug, like why should they visit Colombia first thing when it opens, which hopefully is soon?
Why
I know you
not?
kind of I know you kind of went into it already, but it's just like
Yeah,
besides the
well, I mean,
biodiversity and the
well, Colombia is known for a lot of reasons. Its biodiversity is one of the main ones. So if you want to know almost every ecosystem on Earth in a 20-day tour, you should come to Colombia. If you want to learn a lot of different cultures, like also indigenous culture, but also a lot of different like contrast between the people who live in the Andes, the indigenous people in the Amazon, the people who live in the coast, all of them have different cultures because they live in places that have completely different like environmental conditions. So the people adapt their culture, adapt their food, adapt their homes, adapt their way of living to the place where they live. So Colombia is also an incredibly diverse country in culture, food, like a lot of different stuff, and that's amazing. If you really want to have a good experience also with nice people, Colombia is the place, because if you search just videos about people who has been visiting all South America and what they think about Colombia, they almost all of them love our country because the people is so nice, the country is so green. You see birds everywhere, you see like good food everywhere, and it's like, come to Colombia. You need to experience this.
All right, and when people come to Colombia, how would they go about booking a tour with Penelope Birding?
Well, you can go into our social media. Just write to us. We'll send you our portfolio. Uh, or you can go into our web page. We have like a short information about all our tours, and also like a contact us button. You just click there, and I will gladly answer all your questions about tours with Penelope Birding. We also do completely personalized tours. Like if you want to tell us like, I really want to go to the Amazon, or I really want to go to the Pacific coast, and we don't have that in our portfolio, but both Camilo and I, we have been traveling all around the country doing some research projects, working with people, so we can basically organize tour anywhere you want.
Sounds like you guys are living the dream. Let me have your life. I
We
was
are,
looking.
we are, but you know, not everything is as happy as you can believe, because both Camilo and I, we were trained like scientists. We work in a lot of scientific projects, and creating a company, well, nobody told us how you should manage a company as a scientist. So all the stuff with money, with bookings, with like working with clients is a whole new world for us. So it has been we need a lot of hard work. We need a lot of we had a lot of learning. We make a lot of mistakes at the beginning, but now I think we are doing it in the proper way.
Well, get to you. So for my final question, what are you most excited about for the future of ecotourism worldwide and in Colombia?
Well, ecotourism is becoming one of the biggest generators of income. So I dream with the moment where traveling people can found a country. We in Colombia, we still depending on oil, we still depending on wood, we still depending on like exporting a lot of things, and I dream with the moment in which our biodiversity becomes our like precious thing. Like we can live out of showing our biodiversity, not extracting it, not we don't need to depend on other stuff. And that's my dream, when our biodiversity can become like our main source of income. And at the same time, if we realize that our biodiversity is our richness, we will start preserving a lot of the forest that we still have in.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's when you start to prioritize the natural landscapes as opposed to extracting the natural resources, that's when the people will start to change too, and the culture and everything. So, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure for me, and really, I really appreciate that you invite us to talk about this. That actually moves my heart. And I have to apologize if my English is not the best. It
No,
has
no,
been a
no.
lot of time without having clients, and my English is a little bit rusted.
Oh my gosh, don't even worry about it. I thought it was fantastic. And also, I will admit, I did, well, we call it research, but it's really just stalking people on the internet. And all of your reviews on TripAdvisor says that your English is perfect. So no problems there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really, really, so
All
much.
right. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day at this 6:43, because now I officially know the time difference.
Finally.
Yeah, 6 months later.
Yeah. Okay, so I really want to invite everyone that is listening to Colombia, and even if you are not going to take a tour with us, I would love to answer all your questions about Colombia and give you some advice about how to travel in this beautiful country.
Awesome. And then to find him, you can just go on Instagram, Penelope Birding. That is just Penelope Birding. And then you
Yeah.
also have your own personal page, right? Which is all of your wildlife photography as well.
Yeah, I yeah,
Yeah.
like a parenthesis, I work as a like a photographer, and we also have photography workshops. We offer photography workshops with some other great photographers in Colombia. So that's like a different product of Penelope that we don't offer like that much.
I think you definitely should be. That sounds like a moneymaker to me.
Well, it could be. So thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. And if you guys need the links and everything, I will put it in the description. And thank you so much. That's the show for today, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'm your host, Farhana. You can find me on Instagram, FarhanaAli_, and I'm posting new podcast episodes every single Monday. So I hope you guys check it out. And if you can, press like, subscribe, follow me on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And I will see you guys next week on Monday. Thank you so much and have a great one.